WWDC18 literally just wrapped up about 20 minutes ago, and I'm about to tell you all that happened. First off, was a hardware product announced at WWDC18? That was completely false. No hardware announced, because last year we had the HomePod and the iMac Pro. This year we got nothing, not even AirPower. So right after the live stream, I went on Twitter looking for the memes, and I saw one said that, do we have any hardware updates for you today? And the clear answer to that is no, and I'll tell you the joke later on. All that was announced today at WWDC18 was WatchOS5, iOS 12, macOS Mojave, yes, Mojave is the new name, and tvOS. It's all software in WWDC18, but really we don't have AirPower yet. It's just a wireless charging mat. How hard is that to make? Come on, Apple, I want that. But first off, we have iOS 12, which is the beta is going to be available today, so you could probably get your hands on a beta somehow if you're a developer, but the public beta is going to come out in around 2 weeks. The full version of iOS 12 is going to come out this fall. I missed the first sliver of the WWDC18 keynote. Sadly, I really wanted to see it right away, but I was trying to mess with the software because I did a live stream if you want to go watch that, but I missed the first sliver of it. But in that first sliver of the live stream, Apple talked about optimizing older phones with the iOS 12 software. So they're actually going to run better, the battery life is going to be longer, and that's great because with Android, they don't really care about 4-year-old devices, but Apple, they're going to care. Apple's now using AI even more for their Photos app, making you select some markup choices along with a For You section with customized photos and pictures just for you. The next thing up is ARKit 2.0, which now Apple has now released their own measure app, so you could actually measure things in AR. I'm actually excited for this. Whenever I need to measure something, take out my phone, AR will measure it for me. Also, along with ARKit 2.0, it's kind of like an AR friend kit 2.0 because you can now do AR, augmentative reality, with a friend. They used Lego playset on stage to use an example. It was pretty cool, but I can't wait to see how developers move upon this ARKit 2.0. It's going to definitely be interesting. Apple did not revamp Siri, but they made a slight adjustment to Siri called Shortcuts, and now here comes the new Shortcuts app. This new series feature is really all about the Shortcuts app. It's using the Shortcuts app. But Shortcuts is just using a Siri feature such as like good morning, and then it's going to be in the app. It's going to show you the tasks to do when you say good morning to Siri. So when you tell Siri good morning, it's probably going to turn on the lights. It's going to change the thermostat to like 70 degrees. It's going to do a whole bunch of different tasks because that's what the Shortcuts app is going to allow you to do. It's going to ask you for that little Siri phrase, and then it's going to do an algorithm of all the tasks that you want to do with that phrase that you ask Siri. With this new Shortcuts thing, it's not only using the Siri phrase, but Siri's also going to recommend you to do the certain task or algorithms throughout the day. So let's say the good morning thing you usually do in the morning. It's going to recommend for you to do it in the morning because that's the task you regularly do in the morning. It's to make your whole day easier, I suppose. The next thing that we could talk about with iOS 12 is what's going to happen on the iPad counterpart, because all the features I just mentioned is going to be for the iPad 2, of course. But with this big baby, what can we do in iOS 12? And let me tell you, Apple added some brand new apps, and no, it's sadly not the calculator or the weather app. Where is the Apple? How hard is it to add it to the iPad? I don't know. On iOS 11, Apple has a book app called iBooks where you could just download a bunch of PDFs and a bunch of books from online, which you could purchase. So yeah, kind of like a little Kindle there in that app. But that app in iOS 12 is now going to be called Apple Books, taking away from the I from books, which is very interesting to kind of match the whole Apple Music theme. But with iOS 12, the Apple Books app is going to get a whole new revamp refresh for anyone that reads, because I personally don't read. I probably really should, but this is being irresponsible. But for anyone who does read, it's going to look like the new revamp App Store in iOS 11. It's going to be easier to see all your new books that you could possibly want to read. And getting back to the iPad counterpart in iOS 12, there's 2 new apps from the iPhone finally migrating to the iPad. And yes, like I've said it before, it's not the calculator or the weather. But now we got the stocks and voice memos. I actually use voice memos sometimes for my YouTube videos, and that's actually getting a whole new UI refresh, which is looking nice. And along with that voice memo UI refresh, also the Stocks app is getting another UI refresh and actually integrating the Apple News into the app so you can see the financial news alongside your stock prices. Moving on, that's really it for the apps that have changed, but there's a couple of new added apps and a couple of new privacy added features. But before we get to that, now let me tell you that CarPlay now supports third-party navigational apps. So you now could use Google Maps and Waze if you want to use that over Apple Maps in in Apple CarPlay. While Apple was doing the WWDC keynote, Apple shifted to say that people really shouldn't be using their phones that much, especially kids, and I completely agree with that. So Apple's gonna add 3 new features to help you be more aware of your phone usage and to stop using them in your precious family time or your personal time at that. It's adding do not disturb during the nighttime, new notification settings, and screen time. All different things that are pretty interesting. First off, do not disturb is getting a whole new refresh. So when you click do not disturb when you're about to go to sleep, you get this whole new UI on the home screen saying that it's not going to give you any notifications and it's going to allow you to go to sleep with ease. You're not going to get the notifications constantly coming in so that you want to check your phone constantly. You're going to get no notifications until the morning, and that's when the sun rises, and that's when you could click to your phone and you could see all your notifications starting the day. I can actually see myself using that do not disturb mode at night. I don't really use it that often, but now this new revamp over the night, I'm probably going to use that to get my nice quality sleep that I want. And the next category to make you more aware of your phone usage is notifications, because notifications are keeping you awake at night, and Apple has done something that people have been asking forever for. Apple is now grouping notifications just like Android. All the Android people have been complaining on iOS how notifications aren't grouped together. Now they finally are in iOS 12. So now with group notifications, let's say you're getting all these notifications from Snapchat or Instagram, they're all grouped together, so it's an easy clear out and you don't even have to look, and you're not going to have that fear of missing out. And the last category is screen time. So in iOS 12, Apple is going to give you weekly updates on how much you picked up your iPhone, how much on screen time, what apps you used during that, and the notifications, all to see how aware you were with your phone. Along with that weekly update of screen time, parents or just yourself could set personal limits on phone usage, or app usage for certain apps. So for the whole week, let's say you can only use Instagram for 3 hours, Apple's going to be counting in the background and tell you once you're almost reaching that limit. You're of course going to be able to override that app limit screen time if you want, but that's kind of just cheating yourself. So far, not that much in iOS 12, and that is true. We are practically reaching the end. The last thing that I'm going to have to tell you is something to do with iMessage and FaceTime. When you put iPhone X and iMessage in the same sentence, you're most likely going to talk about an emoji. And with an emoji, we now have tongue detection. Before iOS 12, when you stuck out your tongue like this, it wouldn't detect it. So it's kind of weird when you're doing your emoji and you want to do it like this, like Snapchat, like But now with tongue detection, you could send all of your friends on iMessage a picture of you in the emoji animal with your tongue sticking out. And Apple was sure not stopping there with Animoji. We have 4 new Animojis. We have the ghost, we have the tiger, the T-Rex, and the koala are all new Animojis added to iMessage in iOS 12. Another Animoji added to iOS 12 is Memoji. Can you guess it? Customized yourself emojis. It's kind of like Bitmoji, how you customize your own emoji, but it's just kind of like an upgraded version of the Samsung S9 feature. Because that Samsung S9 face emoji, whatever that was called, I forgot, is just, doesn't look that good. Doesn't look that customizable. But with Apple's Memoji, there's 1,000 different combinations to get yourself, because Tim Cook went and made his own Memoji, and it really, really, truly looks like him. You could add glasses, you could make them shaded, you could completely make it look like you. And with that Memoji, Apple added a whole new thing in the iMessage app when you're taking a picture, because you could take a picture in the iMessage app and send it to someone. Let's say they want to look at a picture of a restaurant, you can send it to them right away in iOS 11. But in iOS 12, it's going to open up to a whole new fun camera where you could actually swipe right for different filters, put in iMessage stickers, and put, of course, your Memoji. It's kind of like Snapchat, but in iMessage. That's practically the best way to explain it. And Memoji, I don't know if I'm going to use it, but it's pretty cool that we're in 2018 and we could do that. The very last thing in iOS 12 is FaceTime. And now with FaceTime is another long-awaited feature, and that's group FaceTime. And we're not just taking group FaceTime to up to 4 people, up to 32 people. So we could be FaceTiming with 32 different people at one singular point. Don't even ask me how Apple's not going to make this laggy, but the cool thing is that when you're FaceTiming multiple people, not just a singular person, the little tiles are going to get bigger and smaller depending whether you would talk or not. That little feature was definitely necessary in this up to 32 people group FaceTime. It's ridiculous. It's kind of taking down House Party. But that's practically it for iOS 12, and we still don't have a dark mode in 2018. When you're going to add the Apple, you added it for macOS. I'm getting to that in a second, but no dark mode Apple? Come on. The next software that Apple talked about was WatchOS 5, and WatchOS 5 might arguably have better features and bigger features than iOS 12 at that, especially walkie-talkie. So it's kind of like walk it like I talk it. Apple and WatchOS 5 was all about the fitness, so that's what I use it for. I use it for the fitness, and Apple is probably agreeing that for everyone else. So in the activity app, in the sharing part of the app, you can see how your friends are closing your rings, right? So now Apple and WatchOS 5, you can now challenge your friends to a 7-day challenge, close your rings. I definitely know some people on the internet who have done some like Apple Watch activity challenges, and this is just an easier way to keep track of that to see who wins according to the Apple Watch. There's now also 2 new workout modes, yoga and hiking, and hiking makes sense because in Series 3 they added the barometer, which actually measures altitude. There's not going to be any difference in the hiking mode compared to the outdoor walking mode in the Series 2 and 1, but on the Series 3 there is going to be a difference. Apple added 3 new little mini features in the outdoor running tab, which I'm definitely going to use because I'm on the cross-country team and I love running. Apple added pace alerts, which I'm definitely going to use. That's actually going to be convenient when I'm running. They also added cadence, so you can see how much feet per mile. And lastly, they added rolling mile pace, so you can see your previous mile and see how you're doing compared to the whole mile run. Apple also added automatic workout detection for starting and finishing the workouts. So let's say you just start running a mile, right? And you don't log it into the Apple Watch that you're doing the workout, it's automatically going to start it for you. So then when you finish the 1 mile run and you don't tell the Apple Watch workout app that you finished, it's automatically going to stop it for you, which is definitely convenient. And I'm probably going to use it sometimes because sometimes I honestly forget to start and finish the app. Apple added this brand new app to the Apple Watch called walkie-talkie. It's like calling someone but using a feature like a walkie-talkie, like a real life walkie-talkie on your Apple Watch. So when you want to tell someone something, you have to press it and then tell them. I don't really see the advantages of this over just calling someone, but I guess this is cool to have in case you want to use it. In WatchOS 4, Apple added the Siri watch face, and now Apple's kind of adding to that Siri watch face. So now you can see your sports, you can see your heart rate, and now you can see your maps all on that Siri watch face. So it's kind of adding third-party support. Another app that was added to WatchOS 5 was the podcast app to the Apple Watch. Thank you, Apple. Now I don't even have to bring my phone to listen to podcasts. I just bring my AirPods, download the podcast to my watch, and I could run like that. That's so much easier. Thank you. Apple also added a new Pride watch face, which is just a nice color of the rainbows, and added a Pride Watchman if you're that type of person. That's truly it for WatchOS 5, and now it's on to tvOS, which definitely has gotten the least amount of upgrades in this WWDC18 conference. During WWDC18, I was been taking notes about all the features, and tvOS just gets this little page because really not that many features. tvOS now supports Dolby Atmos along with already supported Dolby Vision, so you can get that surround sound with that beautiful 4K image. Ooh, tvOS is a quality movie product. Another feature to tvOS is the zero sign-in policy. So it's going to use your Wi-Fi to sign into your TV provider so you can watch 100 channels that are now supported, including sports. And the very last feature on tvOS, yeah, it was a small one, is the new little wallpaper feature that comes from outer space. If you have an Apple TV and you're not using it, it shows beautiful wallpaper, beautiful cinematic wallpapers in the background, beautiful aerial cinematography. But now that beautiful aerial cinematography is going to be truly aerial, and it's going to come from outer space if you choose to do so. I kind of wish I had an Apple TV just for that reason, just to get those beautiful shots of outer space. It's gonna look good. The last thing announced at WWDC18 was macOS Mojave, and finally they're talking about the deserts of California, not the mountains, for the 4th straight year in a row. I think macOS Mojave got the biggest upgrade in software out of all of these, including iOS 12 because of the feature I'm about to tell you, and macOS Mojave now has dark mode. I'm going to be using this dark mode 24/7 no matter what. I'm just going to keep it on dark mode because just dark mode on everything, please. What dark mode on black? It looks so good. But along with that dark mode, if you choose to have the macOS Mojave wallpaper, it's going to change periodically throughout the day. So let's say it's sunset, it's going to show you a sunset picture of Mojave Desert. And when it's nighttime, it's going to show you a nighttime picture of the Mojave Desert. It's going to change depending on the scene where you are. I think that's really cool. If you look on my desktop in macOS High Sierra, all my things are just clumped up in the corner. But now with Mojave, Apple has this new feature to just organize all your different files into a bunch of different categories. So it's actually going to look convenient and nice. And Apple's adding a fourth way to view your Finder, and that's going to be called the gallery, where you're going to see each file in a huge render so you actually could analyze it and see what's the image. Along with that gallery mode, you're actually going to be able to easily just touch up and mark up those files if you want to. A whole slight theme in 2018 for all these different software is to add all these new apps. The Apple Watch and WatchOS5 is getting podcasts, the iPad's getting stocks and voice memos, and now with macOS Mojave, Apple Macs are getting the stocks app, the voice memos app, and the home app, all along with this new update. And I almost forgot to mention an app, and that's the News app. But I don't know why you would use the News app. You could just use Safari or Google Chrome, and that's up to you. But along with those new added Apple apps, there's a whole new app store for you to explore, because I always thought the app store on the Mac was kind of just, it wasn't looking that good. And after Apple changed the whole UI on the iPhone app store in iOS 11, I definitely thought the macOS app store needed a change, and it's getting a change in Mojave. Along with the macOS App Store getting a whole new UI, it's also going to be easier for developers to integrate iPhone apps into the Mac Store, which is definitely going to be interesting for all these new apps coming to the macOS App Store. But when Apple was talking about this in the live stream, Apple was talking about how people want macOS and iOS to get integrated somehow. But their answer to this was a clear, definite no and a huge font. Craig clearly set up stage and to deny any rumors of them coming together that macOS is going to stay on Macs and iOS is going to stay on iPhones and iPads. That's the it. But that's really it for this WWDC18. This video has been on for like around 30 minutes and it's probably definitely going to exceed 10 minutes. But I'm going to have to edit this and get it published today so it could be freshly updated and maybe get some views. But that's not why I do it. I just want to talk about all the new features in iOS 12, WatchOS5, tvOS, and macOS Mojave. But the developers beta is going to be available today, and then the public beta is going to be available in around 2 weeks from now. And all these new softwares are going to be publicly available at that this coming fall. Definitely an interesting array of features from all the software, but come on Apple, where is the AirPower? I'd love to hear your opinion on the best feature in the comment section below, and thank you to all my subscribers, and I'll see you in the next one.